Do you ever get a little discouraged, and if you do, what do you do? Good morning, gamers. This was a question that was asked in my chat during my XIV question show that I do, and it really resonated with me because it's something that I and many others struggle with on a regular basis. When put on the spot in the Q&A, I feel like I was able to give a reasonable answer, but I actually wanted to go into further detail about this question and answer it a bit more thoroughly, because it is a great question and I'd like to share what I believe is the best way to fight feelings of discouragement. I'd like to preface with saying that I'm definitely not a motivational speaker. I frequently and more often than not have no idea what I'm doing. I become discouraged. I feel unconfident about what I'm doing. And that goes both ways, whether that's in real life or Final Fantasy XIV. And with regards to 14 specifically, I quite frequently feel like I've lost my direction or haven't been able to meet the expectations of myself or others. And that feeling only gets extrapolated when I start comparing myself to others in the raiding community who are either more successful than me, more popular than me, or able to accomplish a goal that I was not able to achieve. On my channel, I normally just talk about setting forth a goal, accomplishing it, and netting the serotonin that you get from achieving your goal. But I'd like to take a different perspective on the matter and show you how that can actually start doing more harm than good. If you've been around my channel or you're a good friend of mine, you know that I focus a lot on FF logs. And as someone who is just competitive by nature, something that FF logs allows me to do is compare myself to others. I can research a fight that I've been struggling on or a mechanic that I've been struggling to greed, and I can learn how other players are dealing with the same problems that I'm dealing with. And to take it a step further, I can look for other players with the same job as me and compare myself to them. I can pull up their page, I can see their rank for each fight, I can see their rank for the tier, I can see which ultimates they've cleared. But what I don't get to see is what it took to get there. I just see the end result. Or in other words, their end result next to mine. And that's where things can get a bit dangerous. FF Logs is a place that doesn't show the journey, it just shows the conclusion. And while it's a great tool to learn and analyze your gameplay, you don't get to see the hours spent reading class guides, watching videos, and hitting a target dummy. You don't get to see the hours of VOD review, log review, strat discussions. You don't see raids that were canceled, not filled, or missed, or the internal group conflicts and drama. You just see the color of the number on the character page and what happened for each fight. And depending on the perspective that you have, that can either encourage or discourage you. Our human nature is to compare ourselves to others, and when you're specifically comparing yourself to someone who has accomplished a goal that you've set forth but haven't been able to accomplish yourself, that can have a very negative impact on your motivation and drive to achieve your goals, and you'll ultimately become discouraged. I feel that I'm in a bit of a unique spot to talk about this because I've been on both sides of this conundrum. As someone whose first parse in FF Logs was a gray E3S Leviathan kill, to someone that finished patch 5.2 as the rank 1 ninja in North America, I had worked a lot in Final Fantasy to get to a point where I felt confident in my ability as a player. But there was still this feeling of self-doubt and ultimately the feeling of discouragement that I would never be able to achieve my goal of being the best in the world. And that feeling was something that I tried to keep to myself and something that ultimately led me to taking a break from Final Fantasy to play WoW again, even though I still wanted to play Final Fantasy XIV. And all of that stemmed from me comparing myself to others rather than me comparing myself to myself. Stop comparing yourself to others. Focus on making progress by comparing yourself today to where you were in the past, while also recognizing that progress isn't always linear. Some days, no progress will be made, and other days, milestones will be achieved or even exceeded. But if you work towards your goals day by day and little by little, and you focus on what's in your control right now and not so much what the end result should be, if you apply yourself and just take the initiative to put yourself out there and shoot towards your end goal and not really worry about the roadmap or how your roadmap compares to others, you'll start to build upon the foundation that you have, and you'll start creating small stepping stones to get to where you want to be. Some days those stepping stones will be in the wrong direction. Some days they'll put you back in the same place that you were, and that's okay. But pondering upon where you could be or should be and comparing yourself to others is just setting yourself up for failure. If you're constantly looking at others' achievements as a roadblock to your own success, then you'll never be able to achieve the goal that you've set forth. You'll be stuck in this perpetual state of waiting for an opportunity to be presented to you rather than creating your own opportunities. And when you lose the ability to maintain a direction or add a stepping stone towards your goal, and you start focusing on the success of others by comparing what they've accomplished to what you've accomplished, you are setting yourself up for failure. And that will lead to your own discouragement. Stop hesitating. Stop worrying about what others are doing. Stop overthinking the route to get there. And when mistakes are made, learn from it and keep moving forward, even if it is one step at a time.